First part we're going to take a look at here is the acoustic intro to the song. This intro also makes up the verse. So we're basically going to start here with a low E, open E string, the 6th string, and then the first finger at the 7th fret on the 5th string, and then we're going to bar the 9th fret on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings, and giving us that E major chord. Now you could do that bar with your pinky or your 3rd finger or whatever. You do whatever way. I prefer to use my pinky. It's a little bit more comfortable. But so let's just go through the chords that we're going to be using first. This is the first chord all the way to the 2nd string there. And the 2nd chord, you're going to lift the pinky now, and you're going to have your 1st finger now stay here and basically do this these 2 middle strings and the 5th string all together. So you have this E right here, and then 7, 7 on the 3rd and 4th strings as well. So 7th fret on the 3rd and 4th and 5th strings, and you want it to mute the 2nd finger. See how I'm lifting up my 1st finger a little bit, so it's not holding down a 2nd string at the 7th fret, it's muting it. By coming up there, you want to be able to mute the 2nd string, but the 1st string can ring out if you need it. And since this whole thing, he's kind of chugging an E, and he's letting that open bottom E string ring a lot. So we have like, okay, then he's going to go to this chord, which is an E dominant suspended chord, and we're going to basically have our 3rd finger at the 9th fret, 5th string, 1st finger at the 7th fret on the 4th string, and then the pinky at the 9th fret on the 3rd string. All right, now this is the part of the chord that's going to be heard the most, but you can still kind of have that low E sometimes in there. He does it sometimes. It's kind of really loose feel. The top, the open 2nd and 1st string can be ringing. So we have this. Now in the right hand, I'm just kind of keeping a momentum going. The idea is just kind of get this like kind of like that little train sound. You can practice it on just muted strings at first, but then you just, from there, you just go, you just want to kind of keep this motion. And if you hear the part, you can tell when he's, when he's missing some strokes and when he's not. But if you keep that momentum going, it's very easy to copy the feel. See that? I'm missing some strokes, but I'm accenting some. But if you keep the constant momentum going in the right hand, it'll really help that sound come out. So after that chord, then we go down to the 5th fret, and we play this A major. You can mute the bottom string with your thumb, the low E, and then have an open 5th string, 7th fret with your 3rd string on the 4th, 6th fret on the 3rd string with your 2nd finger, and then 1st finger at the 5th fret, 2nd string, and you can let that top E string ring out. And that's an A major chord, and what he does is he interchanges that with, if you take your pinky and lay it on the 7th fret on the 3rd string, right above your 2nd finger, it creates a suspended, A suspended sus4 chord. He's still letting all those strings ring around it. And then it goes back down to the regular 2nd finger at the 6th fret. All right, so that whole riff is. So just kind of give it this nice loose swingy feel. You know, there's nothing that precise about having those open strings ringing out. He's got a lot of stuff kind of going on there. So you kind of wanted to make it sound like big, full, and loud, and sloppy, and everything. All right, so that's pretty much the intro. He does that 4 times, and the vocals come in, and he plays that same part as the verse of the song, and he'll do it 8 times while he's singing. So we have 4 times in the intro, 8 times of playing that riff while he's singing, and then we get to the pre-chorus. The acoustic guitar part, there's actually 2 guitars going here during the pre-chorus. We'll work on the electric guitar part in a different video, but in the acoustic guitar part, he comes down here and he plays a basic E open position chord, 0, 2 on the 5, 2 on the 4th, 1st fret on the 3rd string, and then the last 2 strings are open. And then we come up here and we play an octave shape, which we're going to have our 1st finger at the 4th fret on the 5th string, and then go over and play the 6th fret on the 3rd string. And that string in the middle needs to be muted by the bottom of the 1st finger. All right, so we have this. Now you can have this low string ringing if you want. It kind of can add to the sound. He doesn't do it all the time, but he does it some of the time. And then we have this chord, which is basically a B major chord. And that's going to be played with your 3rd finger at the 6th fret on the 5th string, and then the 1st finger barring across the 2 middle strings of the 4th fret. So we have 6, 4, and 4 on the 5th, 4th, and 3rd string. And then you can add this top F sharp on the 2nd string with your pinky at the 7th fret. And don't worry about it, there's an E in that sometimes too. So we have so when you're coming out of this riff, this is kind of what that part is going to sound like. So we have that octave, then that B chord, and then we go to that same A chord that we did in the verse, without adding the pinky to it. And then we come back to the octave shape. So we have that, the E, the octave, the B, the A, and back to this. And then it ends it with the E chord. So the E chord begins and ends the riff. So we have. Okay, so that's it for the intro, the verse, and the pre-chorus for the acoustic guitar parts.